Good morning, students. We are today are going to see last chapter of the syllabus, that are the physiology of flowering. Name inside indicate the concept. That is my concept. That means every chapter or the every concept are related to the name inside. Let's see physiology. What are the physiology? Physiology, it is a branch of biology which deals the study of structure and the function inside the plant. That is known as physiology. That means physiology related the flowering. Some flowering opening and the closing are depend on the physiology of that plant. Okay. This concept we are going to see in this chapter. Before starting this chapter, there are the first point, that is the Proto-Periodism. We see the intro, then we see the in a detailed concept. It is said that the every applicable purpose to the flowering under the higher sky plant on there. The phanerogams is a plant on the season on earth end. That meanings of that sentence are the, it is said that the every applicable purpose for the flower under the higher sky. That means everything in the sky that are the applicable for the flowering in any plant. Most of the phanerogams, that concept will be applied. Phanerogams, they grow most as compared to the cryptogams. For that purpose, that concept are applied for the only phanerogam plants. In phanerogams, angiosperm and gymnosperm are in whorls. This is due to the ability of the plant to detect the day length or maybe circadian clock unable to the plant. That circadian concept we have learned, or you have learned at the standard 10th, at the circadian clock. Circadian clock, it is nothing but the clock on that flower life cycle or the plant life cycle are dependent. That means in 24 hours how many times plants respire, how many times plant photosynthesize, and how many times transpire. That are the in 24 hours how many times life process are the performing by the plant. That is circadian rhythm. The ability of the plant due to detect the day length. That means that some plant having the ability to detect the day length and produce the flower. Flowering is the most photobiological process, the most radical changes in the physiology of plant. Flowering, it is a one most photobiological concept. That means flowering, it is related to the photobiology. That photo means light and biology means that organism, photobiological concept. With the help of light only flowering will be done. It is a partly dependent on the environmental condition, partly endogenous factors at the shoot up access. That means that flowering, it depends upon the endogenous process. That means inside process. Next, then concept and the definition of a photo-periodism. That I have explained the intro of what is the photo-periodism, where are they are used. That are the basic concept or the introductory part. Now in details, what are the definition of photoperiodism and the concept. The functional or behavior response of the plant to changes their duration in daily, seasonal or yearly. That cycle light and the darkness which include the flowering in them. Plants having the functional or the behavioral changes in a response of a plant. In response of plant changes the duration, daily, seasonal, airy, yearly cycle, light and the darkness. Plant have response to change their behavior or the function in the response of light and the darkness. that may be yearly changes, that may be monthly changes, that may be seasonal changes. That are the points are explaining. That means the function of plant, it is a totally dependent on the time, on the time, that may be time of a light, time of a darkness, that depends on the that changes depends upon the light and the darkness. In simple way, the length of a day is called as a photo period. That are simple concept. In a simple way, length of a light is known as a photo period, and the response of plant to it is called as a photoperiodism. The length of light is called as a photoperiod, and the response to that photo period, that is known as a photoperiodism. Okay, that are the simple concept of or the definition of a photoperiodism. It refers as the response of plant to the relative length of a dark and light period. It refers to the response of a plant to the relative length of a dark and the light period. Apart from this, few plants which flower vary any season. For example, sunflower ziamage. That means it refers as a response of plant relative to the length of a dark and light period. That means photoperiodism, it is responsible to the production of flower with the response of a light and the dark. Apart from few plants which flower in a any season, and some plants flower at any season, they do not obey the concept of the photoperiodism, like ziamage, sunflower, that can be done in any season. That means there are not effect of a light and the darkness. Actually, W. Garner and H.A. Allard in 1920 coined the term of photoperiodism first time and defined the plant response to the day length. And the Maryland Mop and the Nicotiana, that are the two scientists firstly coined the term of a photoperiod, and that are given a result at a first time the response of a day length in a plant. Then next scientist, that is a Maryland Mammoth in a Nicotiana, that study the Nicotiana photoperiod effect. Then classification. Are you understand the concept of a photoperiodism? I only given the one definition, their discovery and their effect. That means any plants changes in their life cycle or changes in their behavioral or the function, it is due to the that length of a day or the photoperiod. That means a dark period and the light period, they are responding. That is depend upon the yearly changes, monthly changes or seasonal changes. Let's see classification. According to the photo period, plant are classified in three types: short day plant, long day plant and a neutral plant. That are the important concept in view of a physiology, like a transpiration. That chapter is also more important. First is the SPD, that is a short day plant. Most of students get an idea about the short day plant. For the flowering, such plant require less than the critical photo period. For the flowering, short day, they do not need more light, more photo period for the production of a flower than the critical photo period. In sense of plant critical photo period, that means the photo period is a critical photo period or the optimum photo period, that are the 12 hours or 8 hours. Let's see. This plant flower when only day length is shorter than the critical period. This flower only produce this plant only produce flower when day length is shorter than that's of a critical period. Short day plant are actually long night plant because they flower when the night period is exceed their critical photo period. That is same opposite words concept are given. In a first sentence they have explained when day length is less than the critical photo period. In a vice versa, the night period, it is a more than the night period, it is more than the critical photo period. That means same concept. In a first there is a less than the critical photo period in a daytime. Okay, daytime they require a minimum photo period than the critical, and night time they require a more period or the night period for the production of a flower. The flower day length is less than the 12 hours, hence name are given as a short day plant. They require a photo period less than the 12 hours. The flowering take place at short day condition and they remain in a vegetative stage. If the short day plant or condition are not available, flowering take place in short day condition and they remains in a vegetative phase. If flowering plant do not get that photo period condition, they remains in a vegetative phase. They do not produce any flower, but they got that condition of a photo period. That means critical less than the day length of a critical time. In all short day plant, in fact of a not light period but dark period, it is a very crucial because they will not flower. If the dark period is interrupted by simply flash, they have get a short day plant. That means more crucial if there are the more night time are provided such plant, that such plant they do not produce flower. For that purpose, when we interrupt that night time by giving the flash of a light, they can able to produce the flower. That simple concept are given here. In this that's author are explaining if the plant having the more night time, okay, more night time than the short day condition, okay, at the short day condition, but some plant are not produce flower because there is a short day condition, it is not appear. For that purpose we have bring the flash in that plants because they appear a short day condition. Okay, short day plants in a real sense require a relative uninterrupted longer night period for flowering, hence actually long night plant. This plant is also require a long night. Okay, for that purpose it is also known as a long night plant. For example, food grain crops, wheat, rice, jawar, pulses, moong bean, vigna radiata, oil seeds, soybeans, that are the example of a short day plant and the long night plant. That are the diagram are explaining that are the some plants. Critical light period. Critical light period, that means it require less than the 12 hours day length and require more night time than the critical night time. Then long day plants, as the name indicate, the plant flower under the long day condition. Okay, short day and long day, there is one simple tricks. All condition are the opposite. That means you make a three sentence easily. First, in a short day plant they require a less day length. Long day plant they require a more day length, and night time the short day plant require more night time than the critical, but in a long day plant they require less night time than the critical time. They require photo period more than the critical length of a day length, that varies from the 14 to 18 hours. For the production of flower, long day plant require 14 to 18 hours day length. Long day plant actually short night plant. I have explained that what why it is known as short night time. Long day plant flower even in a short day condition. If flashlight are given, this plant during the night. मग some plants of a long day plant, they if given a short day condition, but some light are flash, due to which night time are the interrupted, and due to which that can produce a flower. Similarly, application of GA can induce the flowering in long day plant, even the under condition of the short day condition. GA, it is a gibberellic acid treatment are given, due to which in a short day condition they also produce a flower. For example, food grains, barley, oats and oil seed, that are the mustard, that are the example of such plants. That diagram are given. Then day neutral plants. Day neutral plants, it is a simple inside concept, there is no any concept. That means some plants obey both condition. That means if plant exposed to the short day length or the long day length, they can produce flower. Flowering of this plant is not depending upon the length of a day or a night period. It initiate lowering after the attaining the certain age or a development stage. It initiate lowering or the after attaining any long stage. And they flower response to the environment stimuli or the not according to the day length. Hence they are known as a day neutral plant. They are not occupy any requirement. That means they not need any requirement, that is a day length or the night period. There is no any correlation between flowering and the photo period. There are no any correlation between flowering and photo period. This plant flower under any condition of light. Day neutral plants can be flower well throughout the year in any season. In fact, these are the non-seasonal plant is also called as a photo neutral plant. Non-seasonal, that is not depend on the season. Which are such plants? See, vegetable, cucumber, tomatoes, peas, oil seed, sunflower, maize, and the ornamental, that are the Gromphena globose, that are the plant of a short day, that not requirement or not a relationship between the photo period. Let's see, there are the time are given, how many times are required for the production of a flower. In that a day neutral plant and the length of immediate for the flowering. Photo period requirement SDP, LDP and DNP. Short day plant, it require 6 hours of a photo period. A long day plant, they require 18 hours. Okay, and the short day neutral plant, they do not require any flowering season with the photo period. Let's see, short day plant require 8 hours sunlight and 16 hours dark period. Long day plant, 8 hours sunlight, 8 hours very low intensity, means 16 hours light. And day neutral plant, there is do not need any time. There are the condition are given, if that condition are flowering will be happens or not. There is a empty white color symbol that indicates that light, and the dark color symbol that indicate the dark that is night time. Let's see, in a first there are the time are given on the basis of a flowering and the vegetative phase are the done. This is the first point, that are the introduction, concept and the types of a photo periodism. Next point we are going to see in a next lecture.